Good evening, welcome to the Plymouth Coliseum for some National Development Trophy racing here this evening. We have got the Plymouth Centurions in action and the Kent Eagles are in town this evening for this meeting. I'm just going to move because Mark Phillips is about to knock me over at the fence. We've got Kent Eagles here this evening. Kent have had 6 meetings this year in this new competition. The Centurions have had 7, so we'll be finishing off the league essentially for the Centurions, and then 1 more left for Kent. So they can only race for second. Already the league has been decided, but there's plenty of racing to be done. Some keen young lads here today to race as well. A couple of people that are making their debut here at the Centurions track here at the Coliseum. There has been a bit of rain, but as you can see it's stopped raining now, so we're all good to go. We've got some brilliant racing ahead of us. Now what Rob and I, the cameraman, are going to do, we're going to pop into the pits, catch some riders, see what they're up to, see what their thoughts are. Of course, we're very late on in the season, so they are all a little bit ready to rest probably at this point, but we'll see how we get on. So Rob, about turn, and we'll go have a look down here. So we've got, first of all, the Kent Eagles right in front of us here, and I'm going to go and find this man straight away because he's looking nervous, and I know him because he's a grass track rider. So I'm going to come straight over to the grass. There's another grass track rider, they're everywhere. Kenzie COSSEY, good to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Bit of a change today to what you used to see me on, but yeah.
It certainly is, yeah. Is this your first visit to Plymouth?
Yeah, first visit to Plymouth. Well, we'll see how it goes. Should be a good bit of fun.
Long way from home?
Yeah, it took us 7 hours. I come up in the van with Jacob Clouting, so that helps a little bit. He done all the driving, so, you know, feeling good.
Good stuff. Not too nervous?
No, that should be. Was to start off with, but now I've walked the track and stuff, it looks good, so yeah, it should be in the zone.
Well, Kenzie, have a good one. Good to see you. See you later. Right, let's have a quick chat down here, have a look round. So we've got all of the Kent team here, looking good. There's 7 riders, which is also good at this time of year. And I think I might try and chuck this underneath Ben Morley's face, if that's all right, Rob. So if we come over here. Tomo, all right? Ben, mind if we have a quick chat? This is a place you know very well, because we've seen you go well here before.
Yeah, no, I always enjoy my time coming here. I know it's a long way from home, but yeah, it's a fun little track.
And obviously you've got a role in this team. You're one of the more experienced riders, so that comes with its own challenges.
Yeah, you know, it's been a good season. I mean, you know, with all the young lads in it, and seeing them sort of improve as well, so I can pass on what I can. Especially, you know, I've done a few laps around here, so hopefully see how we get on for the evening tonight. Yeah,
I think they'll be leaning on you for a bit of experience, but you've enjoyed your season at Haywood, and you know it's a track you know so well. It's the second home.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the closest one to my house, so apart from that, everything's 3 hours plus. So yeah, it's nice to have a home local track, and like I say, I've done a few laps around there, so it's always nice. Yeah, good. So this evening, obviously trying to get that second place. So I suppose it's still quite important. You want to be runners up in this National Development Trophy. Yeah, I mean, you know, we want to go out and win whatever meetings we got left. You know, I think we still got Leicester next week, so it's nice to. You know, we always give it all at our all, and yeah, hopefully another win would be nice. Yeah, good luck. Well, good luck, Ben. Good to have you here again. Thanks, and have a good one. I think you're out on the track in a minute, so we better get on. Let's have a turn around here, Rob, and have a look. Hello, all right. I was just about to come and speak to Barry Bishop, who's obviously in charge of the Centurions, but he's rallying the troops at the moment. We'll see if we can grab him quickly. I know that he is busy. Barry. I know you're busy, Barry, but if we can have a quick chat for our audience on Gladiators TV. Barry Bishop, the spin around the Centurions team manager this evening. Yep. Thoughts going into this one?
It's a tough one. They've got a good side, but we're here to win. That's what we're all about. So the guys have been out on the track. They like the track, and let's looking forward to it. And have you enjoyed this National Development Trophy this year? Yeah, it's been really interesting. I've enjoyed my time here. Enjoyed my time on the island, obviously, as well. This is different because I just turn up and manage. Although there's a little bit, you know, outside of the working day here, but in general, I've loved it. Yep. You've been a little bit of a bigger part of the Plymouth setup as well. You know, coming down here for practice days and running my first skidder course as well. Yeah. So you know, you haven't just been the team manager, really, have you? No, well, in the big scheme of things, I'm just a team manager, and I like to let Mark do his stuff. And but we do love doing the My First Skid days as well. We do them on the island too, and it's really important to have the next generation of riders. I think we've got 14 or so regular PB riders here. We've got 20 on the island now, so they're going to be our next 125 riders. So that's what I get the most thrill out of.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thanks, Barry, for all that. Hopefully we have a good night tonight. Obviously the rain's relented, so it's shaping up nicely.
Shaping up nicely, yeah. I'm looking forward to our boys now. I'm loving Charlie and Ryan, and hoping they both have the great night and our heat leaders do their job, and then we should be all right.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Barry. Thanks for talking to us. Yeah, so all the riders are here getting lined up and ready to go out on parade. And Barry was just saying there, Charlie Southwick and Ryan Ingram, a revelation in this league this year, been going really, really well for the Centurions, both home and away. And I think they've been a bit of a surprise, really. They started down at reserve and have been very, very quick. Obviously, there's not lots and lots of meetings for these riders at this level, but when they have ridden, they've made it count, and that's really important. So, as you can probably see, the riders are getting ready to go out on parade onto the circuit. So, with that, the pits will empty very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand back up to Nigel Walrond, who is up in the commentating box as well, and I'll chase up there and meet you as well, Nigel. So over to you, Nigel.
Well, very good evening, and looking forward to this final match of the season here at the Coliseum, the Centurions against the Eagles, and this final National Development Trophy match, certainly for the Centurions. Kent have still got to race Leicester in their final match, but second place still up for grabs in the trophy. Of course, Kings Lynn wrapped it up a little while ago. These two will certainly be battling it out to finish runners-up to Kings Lynn. These are the two lineups for this evening's meeting. Plymouth Centurions, Joe Thompson, who's been in Premiership playoff action in the past week. He skippers the side at number 1. Rider replacement for Mickey Simpson at number 2. Ryan Ingram is at 3. Charlie Southwick is at 4. Those two have really come on great guns this season. Ben Trigger at 5. He's been doing great stuff in individual meetings in the last few weeks. Kai Ward is injured, so Eli MEADOWS is at 6. And Morgan Williams is at 7. The Kent Eagles, Vinnie FOORD, who came within an engine failure of winning the British Under-19 Championship at Workington recently, is number 1. Jacob Clouting is 2. Rider replacement for Nathan Ablett is at 3. Luke Harris is at 4. Former Plymouth rider Ben Morley skippers the side at number 5. They've got a guest in number 6 in Kenzie COSSEY, and number 7 is Charlie Wood. Their team manager tonight is Emily Jane Humphrey. Barry Bishop looks after the Centurions. And tonight's SCB referee making the journey down to Plymouth is Wayne Jarvis. And Gareth, it's great. It's dry now, isn't it? We've had. I was sat at Plymouth Argyle this afternoon watching the rain falling and fearing the worst, but it's dry. The track's looking great, isn't it? And I'm sure they'll crack on with the racing tonight, because obviously a big band of rain coming in later this evening, but we should be fine.
I think so, yeah. I think they're going to want to get on with it because of, as you said, the rain. But the track looks great. The track looks dry and well prepared as always. So from that respect, it's all good. None of the riders seem concerned. It was, miserable earlier, really, just miserable weather, and obviously Argyle losing as well probably didn't help. But we're all set for a decent night, and some hungry lads as well who like to race their motorbikes.
But they say there's nothing better than natural watering, and the level of rain we had earlier, I think, was just perfect. The sort of watering that you would do before a meeting, and it just perfect, I would have thought, for Mark Phillips preparing the circuit. Yeah,
well, ironically, of course, it's rained persistently all through the afternoon, but the track probably looks drier than it normally does at this point. So, usually they have to work tirelessly to get the surface to a point where it's got enough moisture in it so that it doesn't become a dust bowl. But today, all of that hasn't happened. So we've got this track that looks quite dry. Actually, I'm almost thinking I think they'll be probably watering it within the next couple of races.
And there's going to be some good sort of personal battles going on here tonight, aren't they? Joe Thompson and Ben Trigger, obviously, and Vinnie FOORD and Ben Morley. And I said Ben Morley is Vinnie FOORD came very close to winning the British Under-19 Championship up at Workington a weekend or so ago. He had an engine failure, which meant he missed out on top spot. And I said Ben Trigger's also been performing really well in individual meetings towards the end of this season.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave you in a minute, Nigel, because of it turns out that they need somebody on the centre green. So I'm going to go and do that in a minute, Nigel. So you'll be able to see me on the screen, but I'll leave Gladiators TV in your capable hands this evening. And no doubt I'll see you later on.
No problem. Busy boys this evening, Gareth. So the riders just coming out on their parade, and this is the Kent Eagles side. In Schoss is there, Kenzie COSSEY, and coming in behind him, Ben Morley. Number 7 in the team there is Charlie Wood. He was meant to have, I think, broke his collarbone at the Wimborne Whopper recently, but it obviously wasn't that bad because he took part in another grass track meeting subsequent to that and did very well. So good to see that injury wasn't as bad as first feared. And as I said, the rider's just going around looking at the circuit, but bearing in mind we have had this persistent rain all afternoon, the circuit is looking very, very good indeed. So we should get some really good racing here tonight. So that's the Kent Eagles side. As I said, Emily Jane Humphrey is the team manager tonight instead of Dave Graveling. So she's taking charge, and of course Barry Bishop, who's been looking after the Centurions all season, will be looking after the home side. Joe Thompson, as I said, has been racing in those playoffs for Leicester, the Premiership playoffs, and of course up against his brother Dan, obviously Ipswich, which is going on to win that in thrilling fashion. And if that wasn't exciting enough, then yesterday or last night we had a thrilling climax to the championship season with the Poole Pirates losing their 12-point lead over Glasgow Tigers up at Ashfield last night. It went into heat 15 with the aggregate scores all tied. And as I break off from talking about that, as the Plymouth Centurion riders take to the track, there's Ben Trigger in his very distinctive leathers there. Joe Thompson, the Centurions captain, as I was just mentioning, is fresh from that playoff action. Yeah, Glasgow and Poole last night going at it great guns. Heat 15 decider, it finished up a 3-3 and it went to a super heat, and the Pirates did the business once again, getting a 5-1 in that super heat and taking the title. That's 2 trophies won this season. The third one is on the line now to complete the hat-trick there at Redcar tonight in the first leg of their final in the BSN series. Barry Bishop there, and obviously Mark Phillips, the promoter, and done a fantastic job here this season. And feels a little while ago now the Gladiators completed a really good entertaining season, and as I said, this is the last action for the Centurions. Vinnie FOORD, as I said, so unlucky not to be crowned British under-19 champion, just missing out to Luke Harrison. Jacob Clouting, number 3, that's rider replacement for Nathan Ablett. Luke Harris, he's got a good 5.11 average, and Ben Morley, no stranger to the Coliseum. It's ridden here for Plymouth at both levels, Championship and National Development League. Kenzie COSSEY, who's guesting, and as I said, Charlie Wood bringing up the rear for the team. When these two sides met earlier in the season, it was actually the day after the double-header British World Championship Grand Prix at Bellevue on the Sunday, and Kent won that meeting 54-36, but certainly up, I think, till about heat 9, I think it was their teams were locked together at 27 points apiece, and it was in the latter stages of the meeting that Kent really pulled clear and ran away with an 18-point aggregate victory in the end, 54-36. So their team manager said in the lead up to this meeting that would be their first target tonight, to get 37 points and pick up that aggregate bonus point. And I said the great news is the weather's so much better now. As I said, for a couple of hours this afternoon we had persistent light rain, but we're all ready to go. The first bike is out on the track, and that is Vinnie FOORD, of course, who's done well for Workington in the championship this season at reserve, and he'll be leading the Eagles attack in this opening race of the evening. And the rider's just coming round to the tapes. Obviously the floodlights on from the start. Now we're heading towards winter. So here we go for heat number 1, and this is the lineup. In blue, Charlie Southwick as a rider replacement for the Centurions off gate 1. Gate 2 in yellow is Jacob Clouting for the Eagles. Gate 3, Joe Thompson, the Centurions skipper, in red, and on the outside gate, Vinnie FOORD, Workington rider in the championship, former pool rider last year. He's in white and gate 4, and this should be a really interesting battle from those two outside berths on the start line. Joe Thompson will be looking to get his team off to a great start here. As I said, there's an 18-point aggregate lead for the Eagles as we start this meeting, so they'll be looking to not only get the aggregate bonus point but also pick up another couple of points for the victory tonight, and that would put them in a really good position to finish runners-up in the National Development Trophy. Start marshal getting the riders in line, and we're about to get underway here. Heat 1. And that's a great gate by Joe Thompson leading Vinnie FOORD out of the start there, but Vinnie FOORD trying to cut up the inside of Charlie Southwick, and with the amount of dust, as I said, it's surprising it had rain here all afternoon, but Vinnie FOORD trying the inside line as Joe Thompson leads out the front. Vinnie FOORD's going to keep him honest here for all 4 laps. Charlie Southwick trying to come around the outside, trying to regain his second place, but Joe Thompson keeping a tight inside line, but Vinnie FOORD putting him under pressure. Thompson just gets his nose back in front, heading into the 3rd and 4th bend as we enter the final lap here. Joe Thompson, a couple of bike lengths clear now, but Vinnie FOORD holding tight to that inside line. But it looks like Joe Thompson is going to hang on and get the opening race win here. And it is Joe Thompson crosses the finish line in first place. Vinnie FOORD just having to pull up quite dramatically there to avoid banging into Joe Thompson, but it's Joe Thompson, the race winner there, despite the best efforts of Vinnie FOORD, who did get through into second place ahead of Charlie Southwick. So just the start that the Centurions would have wanted. And official confirmation of that. So Joe Thompson, the winner in red for the Centurions. Vinnie FOORD, second in white for the Eagles. Then came Charlie Southwick in third in blue. Jacob Clouting bringing up the rear. So that's a 4-2 heat advantage to the Centurions. And straight away they've started to eat into that aggregate deficit down to 16 points. Let's watch the rerun again. Joe Thompson got off to a great start here from gate number 3. Charlie Southwick followed him through on the inside initially, and Vinnie FOORD disappearing in a cloud of dust there, but Vinnie FOORD worked that inside line really well and eventually got back underneath Charlie Southwick on that 4th bend, and from then on it was a battle between Thompson and Vinnie FOORD at the front. Here we go into heat number 2. And we've got a couple of guest riders in this one. So we've got the Centurions pairing. We've got Eli MEADOWS in red off gate number 2 and Morgan Williams in blue off gate number 4. And the Eagles pairing, Kenzie COSSEY is in white off the inside, and it's Charlie Wood in yellow off gate number 3. But as I was saying a minute ago, bearing in mind the rain we've had this afternoon, incredible that there was dust coming up off the circuit. That shows that even though it's rained for a couple of hours this afternoon, it wasn't that intense. And it's also showed how well the Coliseum is drained. So we're about to get underway for heat number 2. And Eli MEADOWS has got to the front. It's Charlie Wood trying to come round the outside, but Eli MEADOWS leading the way into the 3rd and 4th bend. Kenzie COSSEY is in 3rd place. Eli MEADOWS again, the riders trying to ride a very tight line around those 1st and 2nd bends. Charlie Wood, he's going to have a look around the outside, but he's slightly overcooked it there. And Charlie Wood has slid off into the fencing. He's picked himself up, though. That's great to see. And I think the race is continuing. The red light's gone on. No, they haven't. So well done, Charlie Wood, for clearing the circuit there. And Eli MEADOWS stretching out in front. Kenzie COSSEY is in 2nd place, and a long way behind at the moment. In 3rd is Morgan Williams. But great to see Charlie Wood is okay there. but Eli MEADOWS was leading when Charlie Wood came off. He completes the jobs, a heat victory for MEADOWS. That's the Centurions' second of the evening, successive heat wins at the start of this meeting, and coming in for that 1 point is Morgan Williams, and Charlie Wood is wheeling his bike across the centre green back to the pits, but just a little bit over enthusiastic on that third and fourth bend, slipping off into the fencing, but it wasn't a hard fall, thank goodness, and he's absolutely fine. As I said, he did suffer a suspected, I think it was broken collarbone at the Wimborne Whopper a couple of weekends ago. But confirmation of that result is Eli MEADOWS winning in red for the Centurions, Kenzie COSSEY in second for the Eagles, Morgan Williams third for the Centurions, non-finisher was Charlie Wood, so 4-2 to the Centurions, making it 8-4, and once again nibbling into that aggregate deficit, now down to 14 points after those opening 2 rides. And we're just watching the rerun of that heat, and it was coming around, I think it was on the second lap that Charlie Wood, he's looking around the outside there, and as he comes down the back straight here, he goes for that outside line, just gets a little bit too much drive there, and just slips into that safety fence. But as I said, great to see he was able to pick himself up, and not surprising really after the amount of dust we saw on these opening 2 rides. We're having a bit of water put down on the circuit, which, believe you me, if you'd seen the persistent drizzle we had earlier, you'd find this very surprising, but it has dried out incredibly quickly here, and I think this little bit of water is much needed, so just a slight delay in proceedings while they get this water onto the surface. Just looking over the pit gate there is the Centurions number 3, Ryan Ingram, of course, who's out in this next race, so he'll be an interested onlooker just to see where this water is going down. And alongside him there, Ben Trigger, I said, who's been excellent recently. He's taken part in a few individual meetings, one up in Ipswich where he did particularly well, but he's had a really good end to the season, Ben Trigger, and I'm sure he's one of those riders who'd like the season to carry on for a bit longer, but great to see Ben doing so well and getting a few podium finishes. And the rider in the blue helmet there is Charlie Southwick. He'll also be out in the next race. Of course, he's already had an outing as rider replacement in heat number 1, where he came third, with Joe Thompson winning that race. Shouldn't be too long a delay, just one more circuit, I think, of the water bows, and we should be good to go. But the Centurions will be pleased with this start. It's 8-4. And as I said, it was a real good battle up at Haywood earlier in the season. It was nip and tuck in the early stages, well, up to about heat 9 or 10, and then the Eagles really powered away in the closing stages, and anyone who wasn't there would have looked at the score afterwards and said, well, that was a comfortable win. But it was anything but, really. So yeah, they're getting the white line remarked and the gate positions, and we can crack on again. Kings Lynn really were the comfortable winners of the National Development Trophy. They piled up 17 points in the competition, and they actually clinched the title when they beat Plymouth. It was August the 13th they wrapped up the title, and they were pushed all the way in that meeting, but they put together a very good side, did Kings Lynn. Nice little bit of dancing there from Maximus. Just having a chat with the clerk of the course there. So we should be ready for heat number 3. We're just waiting to see who the rider replacement is going to be in white. Nathan Ablett not here tonight. and it's going to be Jacob Clouting who's going to come out for the Eagles in white. Of course, another rider who also came out in heat number 1. Failed to trouble the scores in that one, but he'll be out in this one. And I think we are ready to get back underway as the pit gate reopens and the bikes will come out. And here we come, the first bike to appear is that of Luke Harris in yellow for the Eagles. And Ryan Ingram in red. Just coming around to the start line, and they will be joined by Charlie Southwick and Jacob Clouting, both coming out for their second outings of the evening, having been in that heat number 1. Start marshal resplendent in his fluorescent yellow top. Still looking remarkably clean after a couple of races of walking away from the tapes with the dust flying. So here we go with the lineup for heat number 3. In gate number 1 in blue is Charlie Southwick for the Centurions. Gate number 2, Jacob Clouting in white for the Eagles. Gate 3 is Ryan Ingram in red for the Centurions. And gate number 4 is Luke Harris in yellow for the Eagles. 8-4 the score so far tonight. As I said, the aggregate score, Kent has still got that 14-point lead, but Plymouth will be trying their best to nibble away at that as the evening goes on. Start marshal just trying to bring them up to tapes. Charlie Southwick was impressive out of the gate in his first outing before he was passed by Vinnie FOORD. What can he do here as we get ready for heat number 3? And that's a good piece of work around the outside by Luke Harris, but it is that man Charlie Southwick who leads down the back straight with his teammate Ryan Ingram packing in behind, but unfortunately Charlie Southwick has come off. He's really angry with himself, punching the ground in frustration. He's absolutely fine, but he'd taken the lead there and he was looking good, and then just seemed to lose it on that 3rd and 4th bend. He's absolutely fine. He's up and on the bike, but as I said, an angry reaction to his misfortune there. Let's just watch this again. And he just, maybe with that, yeah, maybe with a little bit of the watering there, he didn't take that into account. Maybe just caught a little bit of water on the surface there and just slightly overcooked it. And he's given a ride back to the pits there by Ryan Ingram. Again, just like Charlie Wood, great to see Charlie Southwick's all right. And the only thing that's hurting is his pride there. He's just having a chat with Barry Bishop, just explaining that when he hit the wet surface there, it's just slightly gone from him. And Barry Bishop just giving him a little bit of advice. But yeah, it's been encouraging so far for Charlie Southwick. As I said, he had a good gate in heat number 1, and until he got passed by Vinnie FOORD for 2nd place, and then he was leading that race. And as I said, him and Ryan Ingram have really been 2 of the stars of this Centurions side this season. And that's what this National Development Trophy is all about. Let's just watch this again. As I said, he's got a comfortable lead there, but you can just see the water on the surface there. His back end just flies around on him, and then you can see him punching the ground in frustration. I think he was in more danger of hurting himself from doing that than he was from falling off his bike, but you can understand why he was frustrated there. And Joe Thompson just giving some words of advice here to Ryan Ingram as we await the restart of heat number 3. Referee obviously excluding Charlie Southwick there as the cause of the stoppage. Referee is Wayne Jarvis tonight. So here we go again. Ryan Ingram just being pushed off. So a good opportunity here maybe for the Eagles possibly to stretch that lead again, but as I said, they're up against Ryan Ingram, who goes very well around this Plymouth track. And we're just awaiting the arrival at the tapes of the rider in yellow, Luke Harris, who did gate well in the first staging of this race, but was still headed down the back straight by the two Centurions riders. So the three riders at the tapes again. Obviously no rider in gate number 1 this time. Jacob Clouting in white in gate 2 for the Eagles. Alongside him is Ryan Ingram in red for the Centurions. And then it's Luke Harris in gate 4 in yellow. And he'll be looking to trap just as quickly as he did the first time. Obviously you can see the orange 2-minute allowance light flashing in the background there. Ryan Ingram just adjusting his Kevlars, making sure everything's comfortable. Rolls up to the tapes and we're ready to get this rerun of heat number 3 underway. And again, it's a good gate from Ryan Ingram. Luke Harris coming around the outside, but Ryan Ingram is who leading away down that back straight in second place. Behind him, Jacob Clouting with Luke Harris at the back. Has Luke Harris got a problem? Oh, I thought he was slowing down there, but he's managed to keep his machine going. But Ryan Ingram looking comfortable at this stage. Yeah, Luke Harris a little bit adrift here. I don't know if he's struggling a little bit with machine problems. But Ryan Ingram making sure here that the Eagles do not manage to stretch that aggregate lead out. Yeah, Luke Harris just about hanging on at the back there. I'm pretty sure there's something might be wrong with his machine because he's a long way adrift, but it's Ryan Ingram who's going to come and take the checkered flag for the Centurions. Second is Jacob Clouting, and a long way behind and just coasting over the finish line is Luke Harris. So despite losing his team partner there, Ryan Ingram doing just what Barry Bishop would have wanted. And it is the third successive heat win for Plymouth. So it's Ryan Ingram, the heat winner in red for the Centurions, and in second and third places were the two Eagles riders, Jacob Clouting in white, Luke Harris in yellow, giving us a 3-3 drawn heat. 11-7 are the progressive totals, and as I said, the aggregate score stays the same, or the deficit certainly at 14 points. Let's see this rerun again. And Ryan Ingram really good, keeping tight around the inside line there. And Luke Harris just there, he looks like his bike slowed a little bit. From that moment on, he was just grateful to finish, really. I'm not sure if it was a machine problem or not, but as I said, he did manage to finish. He picked up those important points for his side. And we roll on to heat number 4. And this is going to be an interesting battle between two former senior Plymouth riders, Ben Trigger and Ben Morley, one riding for each side. I said Ben Trigger's been in really good form recently, so he will be feeling optimistic that he can take the 3 points here, make it 4 successive wins on the bounce of the Centurions. But Ben Morley rode for the Gladiators last season for a period of time, and he'll be desperate to lower his colours in this one. And good to see Charlie Wood out for this one after his fall in heat number 2. No adverse effects there. So it's Morgan Williams in blue for the Centurions off gate 1. Charlie Wood in yellow off gate 2 for the Eagles. There's that man Ben Trigger in red for the Centurions in gate 3. And on the outside gate, Ben Morley. He's not going to need his sunglasses tonight, that's for sure. But he's in white off gate number 4. This should be an intriguing battle between these two lads on the outside. It's, both, certainly at this level, both very experienced riders. And Ben Morley has certainly had a few outings at championship level as well, as we get underway for heat number 4. And Ben Trigger it is, but Ben Morley around the outside. Can they going neck and neck down that back straight? And Ben Morley it is who's got his nose in front going into the third and fourth bend. Ben Trigger will hunt him down here for the 4 laps. Morgan Williams trailing at the back. It's Charlie Wood who's in third place. Ben Trigger having a look around the inside, sorry. Again putting pressure on Ben Morley. Morley riding a very intelligent line though to keep Ben Trigger behind him. Will Ben Trigger have a look at the outside? We noticed earlier it's maybe a little bit slippery out there, and the favoured line at the moment is certainly around that inside, but Ben Trigger again winding it on round that first and second bend, but it's going to be Ben Morley who's going to take the checkered flag for the first time this evening for the Kent Eagles. Ben Trigger, despite his best efforts, coming home in second place, and it's Charlie Wood in third. So that's the first heat advantage of the night for the Eagles, and that'll be to the delight of Emily Jane Humphrey, their team manager tonight. But yeah, that was certainly a fierce battle for that first lap between the 2 riders there. But Ben Morley it is who took the checkered flag in white for the Eagles. Second, Ben Trigger in red for the Centurions. Charlie Wood picking up that valuable point for the Eagles in third. Morgan Williams trailing into the back for the Centurions. So 4-2 to Kent, 13-11 on the night, and that aggregate score has just been stretched out again a little bit by Kent. Let's just watch the rerun to the start here, and it was Ben Morley coming around the outside and Ben Trigger just about hanging on there, and as they went down that back straight it was Morley who took control of the race heading into that third and fourth bend, and despite everything that Ben Trigger tried for the next 3 laps he couldn't make an impression on Morley, and the Kent rider coming home with the spoils, and he's the Kent skipper as well. So we're just going to have a track grade after these opening 4 heats. And the team scores so far this evening, well, 3 heat winners there for the Centurions. Joe Thompson, Ryan Ingram and Eli MEADOWS all picking up 3. Ben Trigger with that second place. Charlie Southwick deserving more than his 1 point so far, obviously excluded when he fell off when leading. Morgan Williams has picked up 1 point from 2 rides. Kent Eagles, well, there's a number of second places there. Vinnie FOORD and Kenzie COSSEY both getting second places. Ben Morley winning his 1 outing. Jacob Clouting with that second place in his last outing, and then there's a point apiece for Luke Harris and Charlie Wood. Just venturing into the pits and just looking at the bike of Jacob Clouting there. As Ben Morley, he'll be delighted with that win over Ben Trigger. Some of the big hitters in the Development League meeting up there. And as we cross over to the Centurions pits, there's Ryan Ingram in the red helmet getting ready to come out for heat number 5. There's Ben Trigger's bike. That's I think that's his dad Lee working on that. Can't quite see with the hoodie on, but I saw Lee and Ben arriving at the start of the evening. There's Joe Thompson. I was going to say deep in concentration, but I think he's looking at his social media on his mobile. And they're just having a little track grades done, so just a little bit of water going down and we can get back underway for what's going to be heat number 5 of this final meeting of the season here at the Coliseum. And it's been a very entertaining season here for supporters, not just Centurions but Gladiators. A cracking end to the season for the Gladiators in terms of entertainment, and Scott Nichols obviously joining them, and it was some tremendous action, victory over Poole, of which was the Plymouth fans would have really enjoyed. Just looking at the gate stats so far for this evening, and gate 1 is not the place to be. So we've had 4 rides no wins off gate 1, 3 off gate 2, and then 1 apiece off gates 2 and 4. And not surprisingly, gate 3 has also collected the most number of points there with 8. So gate 1, obviously a bit of a graveyard gate. We've had meetings here before where gate 4 has been the graveyard gate this season, but gate 1 so far this evening. So just looking to see who's going to have that gate in the next one. And it'll be Jacob Clouting, I think, who's going to be off gate number 1. So I think the watering has finished, so we should be swiftly back underway with heat number 5. And as I said, it's incredible to see watering going on. I said earlier, bearing in mind the rain that we've had, and there is rain expected later this evening. I think tomorrow for the southwest, certainly in the morning, is going to be a complete washout.
Is there a replay of that one? I want to see the start. Is there...
We're joined by Ben Trigger, who's just keen to see a replay and just get his mic switched on.
Hello.
Ben, that was watch the replay. Hopefully, come back on here. But good little battle there with Ben Morley.
Well, I mean, it wasn't bad. Obviously, I felt like I had a bit more pace. But I'm interested in the start. I mean, if you're watching Ben, watch his right hand.
He just moved a bit early.
I don't know if, I guess there's no probably a close angle, but
we haven't got
I mean, from a rider's point of view on gate 3 there, I've got a rider on the outside of me, and that constant right left hand twitching, and his bars are moving, and honestly, I mean, here we go. Look, if we watch his left hand or our right, but obviously his left hand, it's clearly moving there.
Yeah.
He's moved. I've moved a little bit because I'm looking for that smallest little bit of movement, and I've seen it, so I've moved.
You've gone. Yeah.
I spoke to the referee. I mean, he's unfortunately he hasn't got any replays up there, but his words were, I could have called it back, but I didn't, because you both made equal amounts of movement and you both made equal starts. But I said the only reason I've moved is because I've seen that one little bit of movement. He's rolled the whole time, but yeah.
Brilliant, thanks for that, Ben. We'll crack on with the next race. All the best to your next one. So here we are for heat number 5 in yellow. Gate number 1 is Jacob Clouting for the Eagles. Gate number 2 in red is Ryan Ingram for the Centurions. Gate number 3, Vinnie FOORD out for his second outing in white for the Eagles. And gate number 4, Charlie Southwick for the Centurions in blue. Good to hear the views of Ben Trigger there, and picking up on something at the start line we certainly didn't spot first time around, but by the sounds of it the referee did spot it, but allowed it to go. So so Ben Trigger was second in that race for him. So I said Ryan Ingram. It's Jacob Clouting, isn't it, off that inside gate where we haven't had a race winner so far. He's picked up 2 points from 2 outings so far, last place in his first ride and then a second position in his next outing. So here we go with heat number 5. Vinnie FOORD lifting at the start there, and because of that he's just missed out, and a little bit awkward at the back there for Charlie Southwick, but Vinnie FOORD has come back under the inside of Ryan Ingram, and Jacob Clouting, he might have been off the inside gate where we haven't had a race winner yet, but he's leading this one, and he's looking in really good nick out the front there. Vinnie FOORD following him around at the moment. Vinnie just lifting at the start there, but he managed to get the bike back under control to get past Ryan Ingram, and at the moment the Eagles are heading for a very important 5-1. Clouting looking really good out front, and this Eagles duo opening up a bit of a gap on Ingram and Southwick. And the team manager Emily Jane Humphrey is going to be delighted with her duo here, Jacob Clouting and Vinnie FOORD, hitting back with a big 5-1 there for the Eagles, which puts them ahead for the first time this evening on the night. Jacob Clouting making a complete mockery of those gate stats with no winners from heat number 1. And we'll get official confirmation of the result of heat number 5. Here we go. So that 5-1 in yellow, Jacob Clouting in white, Vinnie FOORD leading the way for the Eagles. And it was Ryan Ingram in red and Charlie Southwick in blue bringing up the rear for the Centurions. So a big 5-1 for the Eagles. They lead here by 16 points to 14, and they've now stretched that aggregate lead to 20 points. Let's watch the start again here. Vinnie FOORD initially looked like he was going to lose control of his bike, just about managed to get it down, but by that time Ryan Ingram had got up the inside of him. But a lovely bit of work there by Vinnie FOORD, switching back to the inside, and from that moment on it was pretty much going to be a 5-1 to the Eagles, and they've trailed all the way through this match so far, but straight back with a 5-1 there, and certainly puts them in a very strong position aggregate wise, and gives them a 2-point lead on the night. So as we roll into heat number 6, it's Eli MEADOWS who's coming out as rider replacement in blue for the Centurions. So it's here's the lineup for this one. It's Joe Thompson in red for the Centurions, the skipper of the Centurions off the inside. Alongside him, Ben Morley, who beat Ben Trigger, maybe in controversial fashion in his last outing. Controversial as far as Ben Trigger was concerned. He's in white in gate 2. Eli MEADOWS in blue in gate 3 for the Centurions, coming in as rider replacement. And it's Kenzie COSSEY in yellow for the Eagles in gate number 4. Joe Thompson just been shown the way how to win off the inside gate there by Jacob Clouting. And he'll be looking to repeat the trick here in this one. But the Centurions will be looking to hit back here, but with Ben Morley in the lineup for the Eagles, that might be a tough task, but this should be another great race. Thompson just gets there ahead of Ben Morley going into the first bend, and Kenzie COSSEY has swept around the outside of Eli MEADOWS. So a 3-3 at the moment. Ben Morley will be in hot pursuit of Joe Thompson as they come over the start-finish line at the end of lap 1. Thompson, the riders you can see are now able to drift away from that inside line a little bit more as the dirt line drifts out. And Ben Morley just tucking him behind. There's a little bit of a battle going on at the back between Kenzie COSSEY, the guest tonight for the Eagles, and Eli MEADOWS, but COSSEY concentrating on his line there. Eli MEADOWS trying to put him under pressure coming inside him. It's Kenzie COSSEY opting for the outside line and just hanging on. It is Joe Thompson who's going to take that checkered flag ahead of Ben Morley and the battle of the big guns there. And hats off to Kenzie COSSEY, who comes home in third despite pressure from Eli MEADOWS. So it's going to be a 3-3. So Joe Thompson making it 2 wins out of 2 for the Plymouth number 1 and skipper. And here's that official confirmation. Joe Thompson in red for the Centurions. Second in white for the Eagles is Ben Morley. Kenzie COSSEY, an excellent third place there for the Eagles. And Eli MEADOWS in fourth place. So it's a 3-3 heat draw. So it means the Eagles keep their noses in front at 19 points to 17. And they maintain their 20-point aggregate advantage. Here we go with a replay of that race, and as you can see, great gate there from Joe Thompson off that inside. So that's 2 heat winners on the trot off that inside gate, whereas the previous 3 heats failed to produce a winner. And it was once he got his nose in front there, it was hard to see him being passed by Ben Morley. As I said, the real interest was perhaps in the battle at the back between Kenzie COSSEY and Eli MEADOWS, with Kenzie coming up trumps there with a valuable point for his team. So we have heat number 7 next, when we'll be looking for the rider replacement to come out in white for the Eagles. So it's Charlie Woods who's been confirmed as the rider in white. So he will come out in white alongside Luke Harris in yellow. And then for the Centurions, it'll be Ben Trigger and Eli MEADOWS. Ben obviously keen to get a race win tonight after being headed by Ben Morley in his last outing. Good to see that the rain is staying away. I said there was I think there's like a 40% chance maybe of a little bit of drizzle, but even if it does arrive, I don't think it's going to affect the Gareth out on the centre green just saying Eli MEADOWS got back-to-back rides, so they're just giving him a little bit of extra time to get his machine ready. Eli, of course, started with a great win in heat number 2 and then coming in last place in heat number 6. So he'll be in a battle with Charlie Wood and Luke Harris in this race. But yeah, the Eagles will be pretty pleased with the way they've hit back in this meeting. In the early stages, it certainly looked like Plymouth were going to pull away with it, a couple of early 4-2s, but the Eagles are really stuck in there. As I said, during the week they said their first target was to get 37 points and wrap up that aggregate bonus point, and then the second target obviously to try and go on and win the meeting. Well, they've got 19 of those 37 already, and we're not even halfway through the meeting, so they're certainly heading towards getting that first job done. So here's Ben Trigger just coming around to the start line. And Ben this time is going to be off gate number 2. Luke Harris just rolling up to the tapes. As I said, he possibly had a spot of engine trouble in that last outing, so no doubt if he did have, he'll have worked on his bikes, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes in this race. But he certainly looked to be a little bit down on power in that first ride. So as the riders come up to the tapes, in white is Charlie Wood for the Centurions in gate number 1. In trap 2 is Ben Trigger in red for the Centurions. In gate 3 in yellow is Luke Harris for Kent, and in gate number 4, 2 on the trot for Eli MEADOWS in blue for the Centurions. It's great watching the riders go through all their preparations, adjusting their Kevlars and their goggles and their helmets. A lot of it will be expending some nervous energy, no doubt, but just so they're feeling as comfortable as possible when those tapes go up. So this will be heat number 7 here at the Coliseum tonight. And as Ben Trigger gets off to a great start there, Eli MEADOWS trying to get around the outside of Charlie Wood to take second place, but Charlie Wood hangs on, and it's Ben Trigger leading the way. This is what he wanted to do in his first outing. Looks like he's on his way to delivering 3 big points this time, but Eli MEADOWS in hot pursuit of Charlie Wood down that back straight with Luke Harris at the back. Ben Trigger turning on the style at the front. Obviously knows his track really, really well and is really turning it on out front. Despite the big lead he's got, he's still trying his utmost to entertain. And if he carries on like this, he's going to win this race by almost half a lap. And there he is. Comes across, winning it by almost a quarter of a lap in the end. But Ben Trigger, a convincing winner of heat number 7 there. And Charlie Wood following up behind him, and with Eli MEADOWS coming in third place, that's a 4-2 back for the Centurions. So Ben Trigger there, the convincing heat winner, gives him 5 points from his opening 2 rides. And there is confirmation of heat number 7. Ben Trigger in red, the winner for the hosts. It's Charlie Wood in white for Kent. Third, Eli MEADOWS, picking up a valuable point there for the Centurions. And at the back is Luke Harris in fourth in yellow. So 4-2 to the Centurions. It is 21 points apiece. So just like the meeting up at Kent back earlier in the season, which was 27 all after 9 races. This one's nip and tuck as well. Here we go again, and Ben Trigger, a convincing winner from the gate here. From the minute he hit that first turn, really never too much doubt that he was going to go on and collect the checkered flag. And as I said, he has been in really good form in recent weeks. I'm sure he's, most riders at this time of the season, probably itching for a rest, but Ben is in a rich vein of form, so I'm sure he'd like to be continuing his season. So we got a bit of extra time being allowed here for Charlie Wood, because he's the next rider to have 2 on the bounce. Referee tonight, Wayne Jarvis. And we will wait to see who will be in red rider replacement for the Centurions, for Mickey Simpson, who broke his leg, I think, in a grass trap meeting quite a few weeks ago now. But another rider who's shown a lot of promise this season. So Ryan Ingram is going to be the rider replacement in red. And we just got a grade going on as well. Good time to do that while they're giving Charlie Wood some extra time between his 2 rides. So Ryan Ingram will be out in red, Morgan Williams will be in blue, Jacob Clouting, an excellent winner of his last race, will be in white, and it'll be Charlie Wood in yellow and black. Here's the, or in yellow I should say, not yellow and black. That's going back a few years. Showing my age there, Mark Phillips, the promoter of Plymouth, doing the hard work as usual on the tractor. Just trying to drag that dirt line back into place. But yeah, 18-point gap still for the Centurions to turn around. While we're having this little break with grading, let's go to see some previous action from a previous meeting here at the Coliseum.
15, you can see in there in white off gate number 1 is Luke Harrison, and red off gate number 2, Joe Thompson. In yellow off gate number 3, Jody Scott, and off the outside in gate 4 in blue is Ben Trigger. See riders ready. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Great start there from the Centurions. Joe Thompson getting over the top of Luke Harrison. Oh, a little bit of bother there. You can see Ben Trigger just holding in the second with Jody Scott. Looks like Luke Harrison's broke down again. Jody Scott now giving chase to Ben Trigger, but currently the Centurions on a 5-1. You can see Jody is giving a hard chase to Ben though. See that line's moved out a little bit further now. Joe just riding on the edge of that dirt line just to give him maximum traction around the track. Ben opting to go a little bit tighter.
Jody Scott's pushing him here.
See Jody Scott still pushing hard there in third place. Still pushing there to the last bend. It's not going to be enough tonight though for the Kingsland Young Stars. But the Centurions just hanging on for the 5-1.
What a meeting.
Well,
congratulations to the Plymouth Centurions.
100%. I mean, if you had said that result at the beginning of the meeting, I maybe would have doubted it a little bit. See there the official result then of Heat 15. Joe Thompson, it was the winner. In second, his teammate Ben Trigger. In third, Jody.
Some great action there from a meeting earlier this season between the Centurions and the Kings Lynn Stars, of course, who went on to win the National Development Trophy. And as you can see, there's from the pictures, there's a fair bit of water going down, as well as the track grade, as they get the circuit ready for the last 8 heats of not only this meeting but the season here at the Coliseum. As I was saying a bit earlier, it has been an action-packed end to the season. Particularly for the Gladiators, had some really big crowds here enjoying the entertainment. Loads and loads of kids coming along, enjoying Speedway, taking part in the kids race, and obviously Scott Nicholls' arrival in the second half of the season gave everyone a big lift here. Nikolai Clint, of course, weighing in with plenty of points as well, particularly away from home. You know, it was a very encouraging end to the season. It's a shame it finished when it did. Gladiators just missing out on the playoffs, but plenty to look forward to in 2026. And I should say, when these two sides met up at Haywood earlier in the season, and I travelled down to that was my first visit to that track in Kent, and I was hugely impressed with the setup there as well. So hats off to everyone doing all the hard work there at Haywood, and it was a very warm welcome to anyone turning up to that meeting, but everyone was really friendly. It's a lovely little setup, some beautiful views across the countryside from the track, and it's a track that produced some good entertaining racing as well. So despite the long journey that day, it was well worth it, and if you're in that neck of the woods, I can highly recommend a trip to Haywood and to go and support the good work that's going on there. Maximus trying to keep the crowd entertained with his dancing. I don't think he's quite going to make it onto Strictly, but never mind. And Margaret joining him in the dancing stakes. Of course, at Poole they always have I've forgotten the song they dance to now, but they always have gone completely out of my head. Sweet Caroline. Thank you to Andy, our producer. I knew I could sing it in my head. I couldn't think of the name of it. But yeah, there's always good entertainment at Poole towards the end of the meeting, when usually the start marshals get involved with a bit of dancing and a bit of singing and a bit of conducting the big crowd at Wimborne Road. And the crowd always get involved with it as well. So, and as I said earlier, congratulations to the Pirates on yet another league title. I think it's 34 trophies now from Neil Middleditch in his reign as Poole team manager. Colossal number, and as I said, they're riding at Red Car tonight, and if they can win the BSN series, that'll be yet another hat-trick of success and a 35th trophy for Neil Middleditch to enjoy, and he seems to enjoy number 34, number 33 as much as he did number 1. Anyway, riders back out for heat number 8, which is good to see. All the track prep has been done. You can see a little bit of water on the surface just behind the riders there on the 4th bend. And it's Ryan Ingram in that rider replacement berth in red. So here we go with the lineup. Charlie Wood in yellow for the Eagles in gate number 1. In gate 2, Morgan Williams in blue for the Centurions. In gate number 3, Jacob Clouting, a great winner in his last outing. He's got 5 points from his 3 rides. He's in white. And in gate number 4 in red is that rider replacement, Ryan Ingram, for the Centurions. So this should be a very competitive race, I would think. And as I said, it's all neck and neck. It's 21 points apiece. The aggregate bonus point might be just slipping out of the grasp of the Centurions, but they'll certainly be keen to finish their campaign here with a victory on home shale before they disappear off for the winter. So here we go, heat number 8. Good gate from Ryan Ingram, sweeping across from the outside and getting ahead of Charlie Wood there. It's the Kent Eagles riders packing in 2nd and 3rd places with Morgan Williams at the back, but it's Ryan Ingram bouncing back from missing out. And the race has stopped. We've lost someone. Just trying to see. I think possibly it was Morgan Williams who's fallen off. I presume it was on bends 1 and 2. Yes, he's just receiving treatment from the medics just down on the back straight, so he must have come off on bend 2, but as I said, we won't see a replay until we're sure that Morgan is alright. There won't be a replay of that one. So it is Morgan Williams who's been excluded as the cause of the stoppage. But it was Ryan Ingram who was looking good out front when the meeting was stopped. I think, just looking across, I think Morgan's on his feet over on the back straight there, so that's good to see. His bike's been wheeled back into the pits. It was just out of camera shot, so I imagine he just lost it, just hit the fencing possibly on the second bend. But yeah, the paramedics are around him, but hopefully he's going to be okay. But yeah, Ryan Ingram would have been delighted with the way he started that race, sweeping over from the outside gate to take the lead there. And the race was just starting to develop when the red lights came on. Yeah, Gareth is doing the centre green announcing tonight. Yeah, just confirming that Morgan is fine and he is now walking back across the centre green, so that's great to see. Of course, he will be excluded from the rerun, but great to see he's none the worse for wear there. He's just talking Barry Bishop through what happened there, the Centurions team manager. So we will see a rerun. As I said, I don't think we'll see the crash because he was out of camera shot, but we'll certainly see Ryan Ingram sweeping around on the into the lead there, and it was out the back of that picture on that second bend that Morgan Williams came to grief. So he's been excluded. The three riders left in this rerun will be back underway very quickly, I would imagine. There goes the 2-minute time allowance. And the question for Ryan Ingram will be, can I produce the goods again from that outside gate? So often in these situations you see a rider produce a fantastic gate, and then when the rerun takes place it's never quite the same. But from a Centurions point of view, they'll certainly be hoping that's not the case with Ryan Ingram. And he comes up to the tapes. In white is Jacob Clouting. As I said, it's impressive race winner in his last outing. And we're just waiting for Charlie Wood. Here he comes to the right of the picture, just rolling up to the start line as we reach the halfway point of this meeting, heat number 8. And the scores, of course, just a reminder, still all tied on the night at 21 points apiece. So off gate in yellow, gate number 1 is Charlie Wood for the Eagles. No rider, of course, in gate number 2. In white, gate number 3 is Jacob Clouting, and Ryan Ingram in red for the Centurions off gate number 4. Can he produce the goods again? Start marshal calling them under orders. Ingram as close as he can get to that fence. Obviously found a good bit of grip out there to start from. And again, that's another great gate from Ryan Ingram, getting across the top of Charlie Wood there and leading the two Eagles down that back straight. Another great piece of gating there from Ryan Ingram. Charlie Wood is going to be in hot pursuit. Jacob Clouting in third place at the moment, and Ryan Ingram just opening up a little bit of a lead there over Charlie Wood. But he'll be a relieved and happy man that he's managed to reproduce that excellent start from the outside. Charlie Wood keeping him under pressure though. He's not going to go down without a fight here. Ryan Ingram's going to need eyes in the back of his head here as Charlie Wood attacks from the inside this time, going into the first and second bends, swoops out to the outside. Ryan Ingram, I think he's just about done enough to win this race. Great effort from Charlie Wood, trying to get around the outside on that last bend, but it is Ryan Ingram who clings on to that race victory for the Centurions. Charlie Wood in second place, and it's Jacob Clouting in third, and it's still nothing to choose between these two sides. 24 points apiece, and still very much all to play for. There's Ryan Ingram just riding back to the pits to celebrate with his teammates. So there's confirmation of the Heat 8 result. Ryan Ingram in red, the winner for the Centurions, and then following home Charlie Wood in yellow and Jacob Clouting in white. Morgan Williams, of course, excluded from the rerun, so it's a 3-3 heat draw. 24 points apiece. Still neck and neck here. Certainly on the night, aggregate score still very much in the Eagles' favour, but despite lifting there, Ryan Ingram's done brilliantly to get across the top of Charlie Wood and then leading away down that back straight. But as I said, Charlie Wood never gave in. He was trying inside and out, but Ryan Ingram keeping on well. Ben Trigger just out on the track, and we'll have another slight delay here because Ryan Ingram has got two on the trot, so he's due out in red. And it'll be Charlie Southwick in blue, Ben Morley in white, and Kenzie COSSEY in yellow as we go out for heat number 9. Yeah, Ingram would be delighted with the start to that rerun of heat number 8. And he's got 2 race wins from his first 3 rides tonight, putting him on 7 points. And he's had, well, obviously Joe Thompson 2 wins out of 2 with 6, Ben Trigger on 5. So good solid scoring from the Centurions top 3. Eagles, Vinnie FOORD 4 paid 5 so far. Jacob Clouting, as I said, has got 6 and a bonus from his 4 rides he's had. Ben Morley with 5 points. Charlie Wood chipping in well. He's got 5 from 4 rides. That includes a fall. And Kenzie COSSEY has been an impressive guest. He's been paid for 4 so far. And there is that man, Kenzie COSSEY, coming out in yellow for heat number 9. As the 2-minute time allowance is on for the first race in the second half of this meeting. Flying out of the pits there was Charlie Southwick. who's, I said, he's got 1 point from 3 rides, but he's ridden better than that. He's just had a bit of misfortune tonight so far. There are the Eagles duo, resplendent in their Eagles race jackets, and just coming up between them there is Charlie Southwick, and coming into view there at the back of the shot is Ryan Ingram. So heat number 9 is on its way. Charlie Wood in out for here is 2 on the trot. He's in yellow off gate number 1. Got Morgan Williams, it looks like, has come out in blue instead of Charlie Southwick. I said he's had a bit of misfortune, so Morgan Williams will take a reserve ride in blue in heat number 8 for the Centurions. In white is Jacob Clouting in white, and Ryan Ingram, no, it is Charlie Southwick, sorry, it was hang on, we got a different caption now, sorry. It's Ben Morley in white off gate number 1. It's Charlie Southwick in blue off gate number 2. Kenzie COSSEY in yellow off gate number 3. And Ryan Ingram in red off gate number 4. Ingram again trying to get across, but it's Ben Morley who's trapped first this time, leading away down that back straight with Ingram in second, Southwick in third, and Kenzie COSSEY at the back. Southwick ploughing a furrow around the inside there, but Ben Morley looking like a man who knows this track really well, leading out front here from Ryan Ingram. It's only the second defeat of the night for Ingram if Morley can hang on to the lead here. And he's got about a 6 bike length lead out the front here. So this will be another tied score if it stays like this. And Ben Morley comes round to take that checkered flag, and it is another 3-3. Kenzie COSSEY at the back, and Ryan Ingram and Charlie Southwick collecting the points for the Centurions. So Ben Morley giving himself 8 out of 9 so far this evening. And here is official confirmation of that result in Heat 9. Ben Morley the winner in white, second Ryan Ingram in red for the Centurions. His teammate Charlie Southwick in third in blue, and Kenzie COSSEY in yellow at the back. So that makes it, well, that's a 3-3. The progressive totals 27 points apiece, which was identical to the scoreline after 9 heats of the corresponding fixture up at Haywood earlier in the season. And from that moment on at Haywood, Kent really kicked on and won the meeting comfortably in the end, 54-36. Can they do the same tonight, or will it be the Centurions who will kick on in the closing stages of this meeting? Ben Morley looking imperious out front, and even though Ryan Ingram was an impressive winner of his previous race, he couldn't get anywhere near the experienced Morley. And the skipper for the Eagles bringing his team home there and making sure that they stay very much in the hunt to win this meeting. They've still got 18-point aggregate advantage, so it's not going to be too many more heats where I think we confirm them as getting the aggregate bonus point, unless the Centurions can really kick on over the next few heats. Both sides have got a rider replacement to be named in heat number 10. It's Joe Thompson and Luke Harris, the respective riders confirmed in both camps, but we await to see who will come in for Mickey Simpson for the Centurions and Nathan Ablett for the Eagles. We'll see if we can bring you an update from the red car pool match as well that's going on at the moment in the BSN series. As I said, Paul winning the championship last night. They'll be looking to try and add to that tonight. Let's see if we can get an update from that one in the next couple of minutes.
Just after your programs, ladies and gentlemen, we have Eli MEADOWS going in replacement of Mickey Simpson in the blue helmet colour.
So it's Eli MEADOWS who's coming in blue in place of Mickey Simpson, and it's Ben Morley in white in place of Nathan Ablett. Those, obviously, Mickey Simpson, Nathan Ablett not here tonight. So Ben Morley goes into white. So that gives us a lineup of Joe Thompson, Eli MEADOWS, Ben Morley and Luke Harris. And of course, with Ben riding 2 on the trot, there'll be a little bit of extra time. Let's just see if I can get that red car latest score up for you. Well, there you are. That's been a great night for Redcar. They've beaten the Poole Pirates by 46 points to 44 in the first leg of the BSN series. The second leg will be at Wimborne Road on Wednesday, weather permitting. Obviously, the big change to our weather in the next few days. Charles Wright smashing in 12+1 at the number 1 berth for the Redcar Bears. And then Danny King got 8, Jason Edwards 7+1. Jake Mulford 6+2, Leon Flint guesting, of course, for the ill Eric Riss 5+1, Jody Scott 4 and Ace Piper 4+1. Onto the Pirates, just seeing who it was. Zach Cook, one of their stars last night, got 11. Lewis Kerr 9+1, Richard Lawson 7+2, Anders Rowe got 8, and then it was Will Cairns 4, Paul Stark 3, and Tobias Thompson 2+2. So the Pirates will have a 2-point deficit to overturn at Wimborne Road when the two sides meet in the final championship fixture of the season down at Wimborne Road on Wednesday night. As I said, the forecast ain't great at the moment, but hopefully they can get that one concluded as we get ready here for heat number 10. And it's Luke Harris in yellow in gate 1 for the Eagles. In gate 2 is Eli MEADOWS in blue, coming in as a rider replacement. Another rider replacement in gate 3 in white is Ben Morley for the Eagles. And it's skipper Joe Thompson for the Centurions in red off gate number 4. So another big battle on the cards here between Joe Thompson and Ben Morley. And when they met in heat number 6, Thompson took the spoils, so he'll be looking to do the same again. And of course they meet in heat number 13, and no doubt they'll probably meet in heat number 15 as well. So this is probably round 2 of 4 between these two. And it's Ben Morley who's made a brilliant start there, getting out in front. Joe Thompson trying to sweep around the outside of the second bend, down that back straight. He'll look at going around Morley on bends 3 and 4. Can he get his nose in front? And he does just. Ben Morley just trying to get back underneath Joe Thompson on that second bend, but Thompson it is who just hangs on. Great overtake there from the Plymouth skipper. The battle of the two captains here. Ben Morley's going to keep pressing and pressing for these final 2 laps as Joe Thompson just lost a little bit of control there, drifting towards the safety fence, but he gets back on the inside line. And barring any major dramas, he should have victory in the bag here, and he'll be delighted to see Eli MEADOWS in 3rd place as well. So if it finishes like this, the Centurions will edge back in front of this meeting. It is Joe Thompson finishing ahead of Ben Morley, Eli MEADOWS 3rd, and it's Luke Harris at the back. So the Centurions get their noses back in front here with that 4-2 heat advantage. Great scrap though in the early stages there between Joe Thompson and Ben Morley. And there's Joe Thompson taking the applause from the crowd down the home straight in the Colin Hill stand. In the NHS stand, I should say, Colin Hill stand on the other side of the track. So it's Joe Thompson, the winner in red for the Centurions. Ben Morley, 2nd for the Eagles in white. Eli MEADOWS, 3rd in blue for the Centurions. Luke Harris, 4th in yellow for the Eagles. So a 4-2, and as I said, that has nudged, for the first time since Heat 4, it has nudged the Centurions back into the lead, 31 points to 29. Let's watch this excellent first lap again. Thompson from the outside. Ben Morley made a tremendous gate off gate number 3. Joe Thompson going around the outside initially. It looked like Ben Morley had snuffed out that challenge, but then Thompson had another go around bends 3 and 4. Lovely overtake, and coming down the back straight, just got his nose in front. And despite Ben Morley's best efforts to get back up the inside of him there, it was Joe Thompson who hung on for another 3 points, and that takes him on to 3 wins out of 3 so far this evening. He struggled a little bit in the top flight in recent weeks, but obviously bang in form at National Development League level. And we'll have another slight delay here because Eli MEADOWS has got 2 on the trot, so he's due out to partner Ben Trigger in heat number 11. Just returning to that meeting at Redcar tonight, if I can bring it up again. And it was, yeah, there was the last three heats were all 3-3s in that meeting, so it was a real battle, 37-35 going into those last 3 heats. But Redcar, well, they'll be delighted to win on the night. Whether a 2-point gap is going to be enough for them down at Poole. Recent matches between the two sides suggest it might not be, but it certainly keeps that meeting alive and should set up a really good evening down at Wimborne Road. Let's cross to some action from a meeting earlier this season.
14. See there in white Max Perry off gate 1, in blue off gate 2 is Charlie Southwick, in yellow off gate 3 is Callum Mitchell, and off the outside in gate 4 in red is Mickey Simpson. See the riders at the tapes now, green light ready to go on, and we're away. Good start there from Max Perry. See there Charlie Southwick going into second with Mickey Simpson, sorry, in red. Oh, Charlie just needs to
Stay on the board, mate. Stay on the board.
Just need to ride 4 smart laps. Say now we split and no heroics. Just keep it going on the racing line for 4 laps. He done well to hold up onto that, in fairness to Charlie, because those sort of moments can be a bit sketchy. You see Charlie there just riding out a little bit wider than he has been in previous heats. Max Perry looking smooth as hell.
Oh, Max has had a problem with his bike.
I was only saying earlier, sometimes someone's bad luck is someone's good luck, and in our case that's brilliant luck. So that's turned from a 3-3 to a 5-1. Unfortunate.
So there's action from a previous meeting earlier this season. The riders already up to tapes for heat number 11, and this has got the makings of another little cracker here tonight. Ben Trigger in gate 1 in red for the Centurions. Vinnie FOORD, the championship rider for Workington, in white off gate 2 for the Eagles. In gate number 3, Eli MEADOWS, who's 2 on the trot, in blue for the Centurions. And in gate number 4, Jacob Clouting, who's already got a heat win this evening. He's in yellow off gate number 4. This should be a very competitive heat number 11, with the Centurions leading here by 2 points on the night, and the Eagles leading by 16 points on aggregate. So it'll need to be a whole succession of heat advantages for the Centurions if they're going to come anywhere close to winning that aggregate point. But here we go with heat number 11. And that's a good gate by Ben Trigger. Vinnie FOORD and Jacob Clouting just packing in behind him. Ben Trigger leading away down that back straight, and now into the home straight with Eli MEADOWS at the back. So Vinnie FOORD not really closing the gap on Ben Trigger here. He's a tough man to overtake. At the front is the Plymouth man, Plymouth youngster. Doesn't have far to travel to come to the track here. And he's a real stylist when he is out front, Ben Trigger. He likes to really turn it on. The dust is starting to fly. We've had a faller. By the looks of it, the red lights are on. Just trying to, it's riders back up. I think it was it's the rider in yellow, Jacob Clouting, who's come to grief there. I would imagine that'll be awarded. So Jacob Clouting, has been awarded. So Ben Trigger is the winner of heat number 11. Vinnie FOORD in second, Eli MEADOWS in third in blue, and Jacob Clouting a non-finisher there. So it did finish as a 4-2, and that's just what the Gladiators, Centurions, shouldn't say Gladiators, needed. So and this is the rerun of the heat before. I think it was Ben Morley and Joe Thompson battling out here. This was heat number 10. Joe Thompson, as I said, coming around beautifully there to head home Morley in the battle of the skippers. So we're going to have a... Here we go, this is the rerun of heat number 11. They've just announced we're going to have a bit more track prep, I think. So Ben Trigger gating there, ahead of Vinnie FOORD, Jacob Clouting in third. As I said, I think we lost Jacob towards the back at the latter stages of this race. But as you can see, the dust was flying, so they probably want to go and put a little bit more water down on the track. As I said, we lost Jacob just out of camera shot. He's a comfortable third place there. And that was the 4-2 for the Centurions, making it 35 points to 31, 85-71. So we've got a 14-point aggregate deficit with 4 races left. So it's getting very close to the Eagles at least wrapping up the aggregate point here tonight. So Ben Trigger, that's 8 from 9 for him tonight so far. Here's the gate stats. Look at the difference of gate 1 now. We had no winners off gate 1 earlier on. We've now got 4 winners. So what's that? 4 heat winners off gate 1 in the next 7 races, I think it is. So a couple apiece off gates 2 and 3, and then 3 gate winners off gate number 4. So gate 1 has certainly proved to be a much better place to be in the recent races. As we scan around the pit, says Ben Morley, having a well-deserved drink of water. He's still got almost certainly 2 rides to go. Heat 13, he's out with another battle against Joe Thompson, and then almost certainly he'll be out in Heat 15. And said that'll be the 4th battle between the 2 skippers of the respective sides. Barry Bishop just having a little team meeting there. He's got Joe Thompson there and Ben Trigger. Well, it's the whole team. I think Barry will be pleased with the way the Centurions have hit back. Having started the meeting well, Kent really came into it. So they took the lead for a little while, then it was level pegging, and then a couple of back-to-back 4-2s has given the Centurions just a little bit of breathing space. But there's some big heats to come, and very attractive heats 13 and 15 amongst the last 4 races. And we've still got some important one rider replacement still to be nominated. That's heat 12 in white for the Kent side, so we'll wait to see who they're going to bring in. But yeah, Barry Bishop just getting his troops together there ahead of the final action of this season. What? Just been joined by Gareth, who's just popped in to put on some rather... It's getting a bit chilly out there, Gareth, isn't it?
It's really cold, yeah, and the rain started to come a little bit as well. So I've come in to get a hat and a scarf to keep me warm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's nicely poised, this meeting, isn't it? It's been nip and tuck all the way through.
Yeah, it's not been bad. The racing's not been brilliant, really, but that doesn't matter. It's because whenever the Centurions seem to be pressing on, then all of a sudden the Eagles come back, and it's been back and forth and back and forth. I think they're really well matched teams, and I thought when Ben Morley came in there for the rider replacement, I really did think he was going to make the tapes and clear off, and then Joe Thompson beat him. So it's really unpredictable at this point.
And of course, heats 13 and 15, we're going to have the clash of the big guns, and that's going to decide it, isn't it, really?
I think that is going to decide it, yeah. I think that the more experienced riders here are the ones that are going to decide which way this competition goes. I was just looking at the aggregate score because I don't have that luxury down there, and yeah, that's gone.
It's
that's
pretty much
gone. Yeah.
It's 4-5-1s. I think they're going to need to stop Kent taking that. I was saying earlier, Ryan Ingram, he's done so well this season. He's really come on leaps and bounds. Just what this competition is all about.
Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he? And he's twice he's found himself as the lone wolf against, or lone centurion in this case, against the Eagles, and twice he's come out on top. So that shows strength in character as well as an ability to ride a motorbike.
And Charlie Southwick, another one who's improved. He hasn't really got the points tonight his efforts deserved, has he?
Well, he had that spill, didn't he? Which on a greasy track. Then the next time he came out on the track, they just watered again. So I think that probably played into his mind. And before you know it, you're 3 heats in and not scored a point. So, yeah, it's a shame. He's definitely quick, and he looked quick before he come off. But I do think that's knocked his confidence a little bit.
Yeah. But so we better let you get back to your other job tonight. But thank you very much. Hope you get warm soon. Yeah, because of the rain, we're in the truck commentating tonight, so obviously it's nice and dry in here, but it's with plunging temperatures and a little bit of drizzle falling. It won't threaten the meeting. We'll comfortably, I think, get through the remaining 4 races, but this is true sort of end of season fare in the Speedway world when we slip into October. And to be fair, we have been spoilt largely with British Speedway in the last few weeks. Normally we get into October, the weather's pretty bad, but it's looking like we're going to get the season pretty much wrapped up. As I said, we've got that meeting at Poole on Wednesday against the second leg of the BSN Series final, Poole v Redcar, and as I said, on October the 26th, I think Kent are off to Leicester in the last match in the National Development Trophy, and I think in terms of the sort of the fixtures that have to be completed in terms of leagues and cups, I think that's pretty much done, which isn't too bad. But as I said, we haven't had an incredibly dry summer, so you would expect that to be the case. We've had some nightmares in recent years where meetings have almost run into November. The official cut-off date is meant to be the end of October, but looks like hopefully we'll get the season completed in good fashion. And then, as I said, it's going to be a crucial winter ahead of us for all teams in British Speedway fans, promoters, riders will be waiting to see what the decisions are in terms of how many teams will be able to ride in the Premiership, whether they've got enough to ride to have a Premiership, and also, if not, do they go to one big league? If they go to one big league, there's problems then with race nights. Obviously a Monday and Thursday race night for the top flight to avoid clashing with other leagues in Europe, and that would cause problems for teams in one league. So there's all sorts of things for British Speedway promoters to sort out, and I think we say every winter it's a crucial winter for British Speedway, but I think particularly this winter, and it's going to be fascinating to see what the outcome is of those discussions. But it's been a good top flight season in terms of British Speedway. Has attracted some of the best riders back to ride in this country, so it would be a shame if any decisions that have to be taken lead to some of those riders not coming to Britain anymore, but hopefully that won't be the case, and they can get their heads down at their forthcoming conference and make some decisions which will be hugely beneficial for this sport we all love. I think the track grades, we're just having a little bit of water put down, so we should almost be there. We've got Charlie Wood confirmed as that one remaining rider replacement in white in heat number 12 for the Eagles. So Charlie Wood will be coming in to partner Kenzie COSSEY and they'll be up against the man we were just chatting with, Gareth, about a minute ago, Ryan Ingram and Morgan Williams, who hopefully is none the worse wear for his Ben 2 exit on his last outing. But it shows you that the rain that we are getting, that Gareth mentioned, is nowhere near heavy enough to avoid the necessity of having to put water on the track for these last few heats. And I'm just looking out at the lights, and if there is any rain now, it's negligible. So there's certainly no threat to this meeting not completing unless we get some ridiculous unforecasted downpour. But that's certainly, as I say, I think the worst of the rain's going to kick in probably about 11 o'clock tonight, or 12 o'clock. And then it's going to be a bit wet tomorrow already, I think, because of that poor weather forecast tomorrow. Leicester's match with Bellevue. Actually, that is another NDL meeting, so there is another one to complete. That one would need to be restaged, because that one was due to take place tomorrow. So on top of Leicester v Kent, they've got Leicester v Bellevue to complete as well. So that makes it 3 meetings, I think, have to be done in the next couple of weeks before the season finishes. Yeah, good to see Gareth togged up now in his woolly scarf and his woolly hat. But as I said, we have been blessed with some good weather here this season. And this afternoon there was a big announcement by Plymouth Gladiators. They've launched a new app for the club, so that's exciting news. Great effort that all the social media guys at the club have done this season with Twitter and Facebook, and now we've got an even bigger addition to that, the app. So make sure you find out the details of how you can get hold of the app and keep you bang up to date with all Gladiators news as we progress through the winter in terms of leagues and signings and start dates, fixtures, all the usual information that we all look forward to as the long winter months go by. Looks like the watering has been finished. And I did mention about Morgan Williams a minute ago and hoping he'd be fit to take his place. Well, unfortunately, he isn't. So heat number 12, it's going to be a reserve ride, and it's going to be Eli MEADOWS who is going to come out in that one in blue. And I think that will be the 6th ride of the night for MEADOWS, so he's been a busy boy. So they're just marking in the white lines again on the start grid, so we should be back underway very soon. The wind has really picked up here at the Coliseum in the last couple of hours. It's always a sign that rain is on its way. I said it's not the greatest crowd here tonight, mainly because of the weather we had this afternoon. I think anyone planning to travel any distance to this meeting would have been put off by the weather, but those who have come along will have enjoyed what they've seen, I'm sure. Pit gate is opening, which is always a good sign that the bikes for the next race are about to take to the track. And just a reminder, 35-31, here's the first of those, Kenzie COSSEY. 35-31, so to the Centurions. So if they are going to win the aggregate bonus point, they do need 4 5-1s. So that's probably unrealistic. So they'll be looking just to make sure they finish this with a victory. So Kenzie COSSEY, who's impressed as a guest tonight. He's got paid 4 from his 3 outings so far. Coming into the background there is that rider replacement, reserve rider Eli MEADOWS coming in for Morgan Williams, and Charlie Wood, the rider replacement rider for Nathan Ablett for the Kent Eagles. So Ingram off the inside in heat number 12 as we get confirmation of the lineup. Gate 1 in red for the Centurions is Ryan Ingram. In gate 2 in yellow for the Eagles is Kenzie COSSEY. Eli MEADOWS is in blue for the Centurions in gate number 3, and gate 4 on the outside, Charlie Wood. He's got 5 points tonight, and he's in white off gate 4. So Ryan Ingram has won 2 of his 4 rides tonight so far, and his gating has been pretty impressive. He's off the inside gate this time, where Ben Trigger won from in his last outing. You can see there's some deep ruts there that Ryan is looking to put his wheels in. Which one is he going to choose? There's 4 really deep ruts there, one of them particularly deep. He's going to choose the one alongside that. So here we are under starters orders for heat number 12. Oh, we got a faller. It's Eli MEADOWS has come off on that first bend. Maybe just got a little nudge there. I think it was some Kenzie COSSEY, but to me that was a classic case of first bend bunching, and I'm pretty sure the referee will put all 4 back. Just waiting for an announcement. Yep, all 4 riders back. So, and good to see Eli MEADOWS is up as well. And I think as we go into this first bend, Kenzie COSSEY just takes his leg out there. Nothing malicious, it's just a classic case of first bend bunching there. Eli MEADOWS, I said, he's picked himself up, maybe just grazed his left hand there, just looking down at him with some concern, but I'm sure he'll be back out for the rerun very, very quickly. Joe Thompson just in discussion there with Ben Trigger, who is out in heat 13 with Joe. So Ben's already ready for heat number 13, and Ben Trigger's just unscrewing the fuel cap on Ryan Ingram's bike, just topping up his fuel levels, just to make sure there's no late mishaps for Ryan Ingram in the closing stages of this meeting, which has been made exciting really by the nip and tuck scoreline, first one way then the other. Joe Thompson and Ben Trigger are already discussing the gates. They're obviously they'll be out in gates 2 and 4 in heat number 13, but they'll also no doubt be having a discussion looking ahead to heat 15 as well. And the way this match has gone so far this evening, you could see it going to a heat 15 decider. Yeah, just confirmation over the tunnel that Eli MEADOWS is just having his hand checked out by the medics, plus suffered a little bit of bike damage as well. So we're going to have a little delay here while we get himself sorted out. Vinnie FOORD just having a chat there with Kenzie COSSEY. I said he's done really well tonight as a guest. We're just a bit of time to kill here. Let's just have a quick chat to Andy Hague, our producer. And
hello, Nigel.
Andy doesn't just do Plymouth, he does Poole and Oxford, and like the riders, it must have been a long, hard season for you, but how have you enjoyed it?
It's been a great season, absolutely great. And just wanted to say for those at home that have followed the Gladiators TV this year, thanks for joining us for the broadcasts. So there's been challenging times. You guys sat at home sometimes don't quite know what goes on behind the scenes in order for us to bring a meeting to you on the screens, but it's been great fun, really great fun. Yeah, just really, really great, and awesome down here at Plymouth as well. really great.
Yeah, we've seen some great action here, haven't we? And not particularly the Gladiators. Not that there hasn't been action with the Centurions, but the second half of the season with Scott Nichols, Nikolai Clint has been great to see, hasn't it?
Do you know what? We've had some awesome races down here, but the meetings have been close, really close. And actually, you got a close meeting, even if the race didn't top draw, as we know someone says. When the scores are so tight, like tonight, it's on a knife edge. It could go either way. It just shows you the intensity of it all. You can win the fans over with that as well. So yeah, we've seen great racing, but on the whole, really close matches. And the crowd's been up. It's been awesome. You know, new social media team this year. They've worked really hard. You guys back at home, you would have seen on Facebook. We've got TikTok now over here. We've got Instagram. You know, everything. Now we've got the new app as well. Website is now back under the control of the club, so that's now been revamped, and we're going to work really hard with it in the winter. And yeah, so it's been on the up all season, really, on and off track, and I'm really pleased for Mark because he works really hard.
It's just a shame, wasn't it, that they didn't get in the playoffs, and the excitement could have continued for another week or two at Gladiators level.
That's true, but I think the excitement is coming back to the Gladiators this Friday because they've got their end of season
course.
2.
Yes.
There's plenty of excitement in that, I'm sure, and I hope to be there.
What's the venue for that one? Are there still tickets?
There are still tickets available, definitely. It's at a really nice golf club, so I'm told. So, yeah, really looking forward to the night down here in Plymouth Friday night. So, yeah, great.
With another one of your hats on, Pool Pirates. That was, I don't know if you saw it or not, last night was a fabulous end to this championship season, regardless of whether you're a Pirates fan or not. The entertainment last night was top notch.
It was really great. Was it 2 nights ago now, was it? 2 nights ago? Last night? I can't remember, night. It goes so quickly. But yeah, so normally I also work with BSN when they're here at Plymouth and Poole and Oxford as well. But last night I got to sit down and watch it like everyone else, and it was great. It was. You know, it's what Speedway's about. I mean, the superheat for the championship, that says it all, doesn't it?
And Neil Middleditch, I mean, 34 trophies. I mean, and as I said, he treats the 34th like the first, doesn't he? He's like a kid in a sweet shop, isn't he?
It's really interesting to see them back, you know, behind the scenes, if you like. So when I'm here very early in the day when the streaming down at Poole. I think I get to the track at about 11:30, and then I'm working all day to bring the stream. And you get to see just what happens. You know, people saying about tracks here as well, when the track isn't quite as we want it. But they don't see the amount of work and the talking that's going on. They're bouncing ideas. They're trying things. It's a moving target. It's a nightmare. And as much as I have my issues with the streaming, to get the streaming going, that's nothing compared to what those guys do to get that track racing. So yeah, I've got a lot of respect for all of them. And down here at Plymouth, obviously Mark on the track here, he works so hard. He's first one here, last one to leave always. He's here in the weeks as well. And you won't see anybody drive a tractor as quick as Mark.
and it's classic how difficult it is for promoters, track people, that this afternoon we've had rain all afternoon, and then we turn up here and after 1 or 2 heats it's dusty. I mean, you know, you couldn't make it up, could you, for a track preparation?
No. Like I said, it's a moving target all the time, and today is exactly that. With all the rain that was forecast and stuff, what could they do? But no, he's done great. Yeah, the racing surface, it's smooth out there. The boys seem to be fine with it, apart from Charlie when he went off earlier on when it was a bit wet. But other than that, they seem to be handling it quite well. So, yeah, I'm going to leave you and go back to pushing the buttons.
Thank you all. Thank you for all your hard work you do, Andy. You do a fantastic job getting all these streams out to people during the season. And thankfully, I think Eli MEADOWS is fit and raring to go. And we can crack on. Just... he's not out on the track yet, but I'm sure he will be in a minute. But the 2 minutes is on, so we can crack on with heat number 12. The last 4 races to come. Here he comes, Eli MEADOWS. Great to see he's fine. I said he had a little bit of maybe a grazed hand that the medics checked over there, but he's fit and okay to continue. So this match still poised in terms of the score on the night on a knife edge as we come into heat number 12, and the rerun in red in gate 1 is Ryan Ingram for the Centurions. In yellow in gate 2 for the Eagles is Kenzie COSSEY. In gate 3, Eli MEADOWS, who had that off on the first bend in the first staging of heat number 12. He's in blue. And in white for the Eagles is Charlie Wood. So anything other than a 5-1 to the Centurions here will see Kent wrap up the aggregate bonus point. But as I said, the winners on the night is still very much on the line here at the Coliseum. Here we go for heat number 12. And another great gate from Ryan Ingram there, shooting out of that inside trap, and it's the Eagles riders packing into second and third places. Is Charlie Wood leading the charge here with Kenzie COSSEY behind him, Eli MEADOWS at the back. Oh, and there's a nasty one there, and good evasive action there. Just Charlie Wood just slipping off, and Kenzie COSSEY doing brilliantly to avoid hitting Charlie Wood's bike, and thankfully both riders absolutely fine there. Just watching the replay here, that Charlie Wood just overcooking it coming into bend number 1 there. And then, as I said, it's great work by Kenzie COSSEY there, just avoiding the fallen rider. He went into safety fence, but they're both fine, picked themselves up. And I would imagine it'll be a rerun with the exclusion of Charlie Wood. Yeah, Charlie Wood is confirmed as the rider excluded, as the cause of the stoppage. I wonder if I can just grab Mark Phillips, the promoter's just popped into the box, but you've done a fantastic... let's just get his microphone switched on. Mark, you've done a fantastic job getting this on all through the season. I'm sure the supporters are really grateful for your efforts, but I guess at this time of year you'll be glad to have a bit of a rest.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? And especially today, it's been a case of spent most of the day looking at different weather forecasts and just trying to guess what was going to happen. Took a chance. The weather stayed fine. A bit damp earlier, but no, makes good racing.
Doesn't it sum up the tough job you have, that we've had rain all afternoon, yet after 2 races you've got a dust issue here tonight?
Yeah, I had issues when Kent came down the last time because it was a little bit damp, so I didn't bother putting any water on at all today for fear of they not wanting to ride. So, yeah, it is what it is. We've got the meeting on. It is the end of our season. Glad to get it over the finish line, and look forward to the next season, I suppose.
You must be pleased how things have gone. We've had bigger crowds, we've had great entertainment, some really close meetings, some great racing as well, haven't we?
Yeah, the racing this year has been superb, and the crowd numbers has gone up, which is great. Unfortunately, we never had no team sponsors this year, which again has made another deficit, which doesn't sit well. It's one of those things, but hopefully we can push forward with getting some sponsors in for next year and making a success of Plymouth Speedway.
And bringing someone like Scott Nichols in from a Gladiators point of view, that brought a real buzz to the whole place, didn't it?
It certainly did. It livened it right up, and yeah, what a sportsman, what a professional. It's great to have him on board.
Obviously a big winter ahead for you guys, the promoters, and some big decisions to make, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same every year. There's always decisions to be made. Are we running? Are we not running? What's the team looking like? Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things. But hey, I'm still here.
Well, they're about to get back underway. Thank you ever so much, Mark, for all your efforts. I'm sure the fans would love to say thank you ever so much for keeping everything going here, and have a good rest over the winter.
Yeah, thank you very much, and let's hope we can pull the win off for Ryan and Terry Daly. Bless him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're very sad to hear that a couple of weeks ago.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. So here we are back underway with the rerun of heat number 12. Obviously no Charlie Wood, he was excluded as the cause of the stoppage there. So we have got 3 runners and riders. It's Ryan Ingram again in red off gate number 1 for the Centurions. Eli MEADOWS, his teammate, is off gate 3 in blue, and in between them, Kenzie COSSEY for the Eagles in gate number 2. So a good chance here for the Centurions to try and get a heat advantage here and just give them a little bit more breathing space heading into the final 3 heats of not only this meeting but of the season here at the Coliseum. Ryan Ingram again just trying to find the right ruts to put his front wheel in. As the start marshal calls them up to the tapes, Ryan Ingram just a few last minute preparations, getting himself comfortable before he rolls forward up to the tapes. Can he gate as well as he did in the first running of this race? Lifts a little bit, but yeah, that's a great gate from Ryan Ingram, and he's being followed by Eli MEADOWS here. Kenzie COSSEY has got the job of trying to separate these 2 Centurions, but this would take Plymouth a long way towards sealing this match. They can count on here. Kenzie COSSEY, those come up underneath Eli MEADOWS. Eli MEADOWS has gone down on the first bend, and that's going to be a decision for the referee to make. The race has been stopped, and we will wait to see what the referee decides there. So Eli MEADOWS just drifted a little bit wide there. He's conscious of Kenzie COSSEY coming inside him. And, well, couldn't quite see on that viewing if there was... So Eli MEADOWS has been excluded. Couldn't quite see on that angle if there was any contact there, but it is going to be a 2-rider rerun. So hopefully Eli's okay. I think he's picked himself up already, so after hurting his hand in his last outing, so it's going to be almost like the old match race here between Ryan Ingram and Kenzie COSSEY. COSSEY just, his mechanic's just checking his chain, and Ryan Ingram just having a few words of advice there from his skipper Joe Thompson. And Vinnie FOORD, another interested onlooker. As I said, had lots of bad luck in the British Under-19 Championship up at Workington recently, with looking like he was heading to the British Under-19 title, and then his engine seized while he was leading, and ended up with a 3-rider runoff, which was won by Luke Harrison. So congratulations to Luke, but big misfortune there for Vinnie FOORD. So Kenzie COSSEY just heading around to the start line for yet another rerun of heat number 12. And as I said, it's the old traditional match races we used to get in British Speedway through the 70s and 80s for the old Golden Helmet. This one is a Ryan Ingram, Kenzie COSSEY battle over 4 laps. And they're both off the 2 inside gates here. So Ingram it is, Ryan Ingram in red. He's got 9 points to his name this season, this evening, sorry, not this season, including a couple of heat wins. And Kenzie COSSEY, who's been a good guest for the Eagles. He's got paid 4. Should almost be guaranteed at least another 2 points here. And if the Centurions can win this, and they would stretch their lead to 5 points going into the last 3 heats. Everyone will be hoping and praying that they get through this staging of this run without any more mishap. So this is staging number 4 of heat number 12. And it's Ryan Ingram again making an impressive start there. Just about hanging onto his bike there as he roared towards that first bend. It's Kenzie COSSEY coming up in second place. And Ryan Ingram just needs to keep it on that line. Just keep his focus and bring the victory home for the Centurions. And this will be his third heat win of the night. I said earlier how impressed I've been with the progress he's made this season. And he's certainly producing the goods again this evening, Ryan Ingram. Great talent for the future. 1 lap to go. And it is Ryan Ingram who's going to take his tally for the night to 12 points as he takes the checkered flag. And it's a 3-2 heat advantage to the Centurions, and it nudges them 5 points ahead here with just 3 heats remaining. So Ryan Ingram just heading back into the pits, getting congratulated by his mechanic there. And as I said, that's 12 points for the young man tonight, 3 heat wins in that 12. Kenzie COSSEY just coming up and congratulating him. And it's 38 points to 33. Here's confirmation of that result. Ingram, the heat winner, from COSSEY in second, and Eli MEADOWS and Charlie Wood both excluded. So a 3-2 heat advantage to the Centurions. 38 points to 33. That wraps up 13. Yeah, that's pretty much wraps up, barring 5-0s, the aggregate bonus point for Kent, with a 13-point lead with 3 heats to go, but it's very much the win on the night that's on the table now between these two. Both sides still with a chance of finishing in second place in the final NDT table. And this should be an absolute crackerjack of a race. Heat number 13, we've got the big guns for the two sides here as we get confirmation of the lineup. And here we go, Vinnie FOORD in white for the Eagles in gate number 1. Alongside him, Joe Thompson, 3 wins out of 3 so far this evening. The only unbeaten rider in this lineup in gate number 3. Ben Morley, 10 points so far for him from his 4 rides in yellow in gate number 3 for the Eagles. And then Ben Trigger, who's picked up 8 points from 3 rides. He's in blue for the Centurions in gate number 4. This should be a very, very tasty race, which you would expect will be repeated in heat number 15 as well. So Centurions with a 5-point lead. If they can get a 5-1 in this one, that would pretty much wrap the victory up on the night. As I said, barring any 5-0s, but I'm sure Ben Morley and Vinnie FOORD will be doing their utmost to stop that happening for the Kent Eagles. Start Marshall just trying to get the riders in line. Here we go for what should be a very tasty heat number 13. And it's the 2 Kent riders just got to the front to get... Oh, and the referee's calling it back. Presumably an unsatisfactory start. Yeah, I think the tannoy said a warning to the rider in white there, Vinnie FOORD, to stay stationary at the start, so he's on a warning, and we will be back to the tapes for the rerun of heat number 13. Just watch this back again. Let's watch the rider on the inside. Ooh. Well, couldn't see anything from our angle. 3, was it rider in gate number 3? It was Ben Morley. I was watching Vinnie FOORD there. So let's try again. Vinnie FOORD off the inside. Alongside him is Joe Thompson. Alongside him is Ben Morley, and on the outside is Ben Trigger. Vinnie FOORD just 6 points from his 3 rides so far this evening, yet to get a race win. Looked like he was potentially heading for one there until the race was stopped. Vinnie FOORD is lifted at the start, and that's allowed Joe Thompson to sneak up. Ben Morley trying to cut back underneath him. It's tight down that back straight. Joe Thompson just holding out on front there. And there's a battle at the back as well with Ben Trigger all over the back of Vinnie FOORD. Joe Thompson going wide on that second bend, but he's leading down that back straight. It's a 3-3 at the moment. Ben Trigger will do his utmost to try and get past Vinnie FOORD at the back. Joe Thompson still looking like the maximum man at the moment, heading for his 4th successive victory. I don't think Ben Morley's going to be able to get close enough to put a challenge on the Plymouth skipper. Thompson really winding it on at the front here. And he's going to take the checkered flag to make it a 3-3 heat advantage, keeping that 5-point lead for the Centurions going into the last 2 races here. So Joe Thompson 12 points out of 12. So Joe Thompson just taking the applause of the crowd in the main stand here at the Coliseum. He's been in imperious form tonight, 4 wins out of 4. There's confirmation of Joe Thompson, the heat winner. Ben Morley and Vinnie FOORD filling 2nd and 3rd for the Eagles. Ben Trigger at the back this time. As I said, almost certainly you'd expect those 4 to be back out for heat number 15. But will the match still be riding on its heat 15, or can the Centurions wrap it up in heat number 14? Here's a rerun of heat number 13. And Vinnie FOORD lifted at the start, which allowed Joe Thompson a clear run to that first bend. And despite coming under pressure, got incredibly tight down the back straight with all 4 riders there. But Joe Thompson found his way through. And from then on, it was more really a battle of whether Ben Trigger could get past Vinnie FOORD and nick a 3rd place. But so the riders coming out for heat number 14. So the 2 Centurions riders already at the tapes. Got Charlie Southwick and Eli MEADOWS out there raring to go. Let's look at the gate stats as we enter the last 2. And it's well, there's been wins from right across the start line tonight. 5 wins. Gate 1 not great early on for winners, but 5 winners since then. It's picked up the most points with 23, and then it's a fairly even split across gates 2 to 4. With 2 to 3 heat winners in each. So here's the lineup for heat number 14. Can the Centurions wrap up victory here? Eli MEADOWS in blue off gate number 1 for the Centurions. And gate number 2 is Luke Harris for the Eagles. Gate 3, Charlie Southwick. As I said earlier, his points haul doesn't really reflect his efforts tonight. He's in red. And in gate number 4, Charlie Wood for the Kent Eagles in yellow. So Kent needs to get a heat advantage here to take this match into a last heat decider. If it's a 3-3, then they could technically still draw with a 5-0, but how's it going to go here? And it's the Centurions taking 1 and 2 at the moment. Charlie Wood's trying to do his best. He's got past Eli MEADOWS down the back straight. Can he do anything about Charlie Southwick out front? And he also needs his partner Luke Harris to do some overtaking, but it looks like the Centurions are going to hang on for a 4-2 here and complete the victory on the night. Charlie Southwick. Oh, and there's a faller there, and Charlie Wood has come to grief on the first bend, just out of camera shot. The red flags are out. Almost certainly, I would think the referee will award this. Let's hope Charlie Wood's okay. I think he's he's on his feet. That's great to see. Charlie Wood just coming to grief on his own there. I think he possibly lost a chain there. The bike looks to have seized up. So, yeah, great. He's walking away from that, so that's brilliant to see. He's had a couple of tumbles tonight. Yeah, it has been awarded. So Charlie Southwick in reds, the winner. Eli MEADOWS second in blue for the Centurions. Luke Harris third in white. So that wraps up the victory for the Centurions on the night. They finish their season with a victory here at the Coliseum. The aggregate bonus point has gone to the Eagles. So both teams will have something to take away from this. But it is an awarded result to heat number 14, and it's 46 points to 37 with the final heat to come. And as I said, that should, you would think, be a repeat of heat number 13. As I said, it's good that Charlie Wood's okay. He's had a bit of a lively old evening, he has, with I think that's 3 falls he's had, but he's also picked up 5 points as well. So good battling display by Charlie Wood. So we're just waiting for confirmation from the pits on the nominations for Heat 15, but as I said, I'll be very surprised if it's not a repeat of Heat 13. I'm sure Ryan Ingram would like a shout at coming out in Heat 15 as well. He's had 3 race wins in his 12-point haul. And the rain is starting to come down here, so they'll be wanting to crack on with Heat 15 as quickly as possible. Still very light. And as Mark Phillips was explaining a few minutes ago, you know, the loss of a promoter, he had to make a call. Of course, it was Kent with the visitors a few weeks ago when they looked like they were going to beat the weather here, and the meeting was abandoned before racing got started. And with forecast of rain today as well, it was always going to be a bit of a gamble for Mark Phillips, but it was a decision he took to ride tonight, and it was a totally justified decision. And as I say, it's just a little bit of light rain coming down now, but nothing that's going to prevent Heat 15 from taking place. So we're just waiting for the nominated riders, but the Centurions will be delighted to finish the season on a winning note. Their last home meeting against Leicester finished in a 45-44 defeat. And of course they beat Kings Lynn here 47-40 in the trophy, Birmingham 48-40. So in their 4 national trophy home meetings, they'll have had 3 wins and 1 defeat. And I think it keeps alive both the hopes of Kent and Plymouth to finish second in the final ND or National Development Trophy table. Obviously Kings Lynn, the runaway winners, that was sealed sometime back in August. So just waiting for confirmation, which I think might be on its way. And it's Ben Morley in gate 1, Joe Thompson gate 2. It's actually Jacob Clouting who's coming out in gate 3, and Ben Trigger in gate 4. So not seeing Vinnie FOORD, but Jacob Clouting coming out in this final race. And he's put in a good shift tonight. He's picked up 6 points, paid 7 I think. So it's Joe Thompson in red, Ben Trigger in blue, Ben Morley in white, and Jacob Clouting in yellow, and it's Thompson and Trigger are going to be in gates 2 and 4. So Joe Thompson looking to complete his 5-ride maximum. And it was Kent's decision on the gates, and they've chosen 1 and 3. So Ben Morley will be in 1, and it'll be Jacob Clouting in 3. So hopefully this race will be a fitting climax to the season here at the Coliseum, with some great action this year from both Gladiators and Centurions. And the final race of 2025 here before we all head off for a winter break. And the rain's still coming down, but it's incredibly light, and it won't affect the riders. Maximus just doing a farewell lap on his chopper. He's going around waving to the crowd, just thanking them for their support this season. The 2-minute time allowance is on, so the bikes will be with us any moment. And here's the first rider, Ben Morley, out on track, swiftly followed by Joe Thompson. There's Jacob Clouting, just awaiting Ben Trigger. Ben Trigger will be with us in a minute. So can Joe Thompson finish the season here in style from a personal point of view by completing a 15-point maximum? That'll be his personal target. The match points already in the bag. Still no Ben Trigger. Here he comes. Race is out to beat the 2-minute time allowance. I think he's got about another minute to go, so he should be fine. But can Joe Thompson complete a full house for the Plymouth Centurions? Ben Morley's had a good solid night. He's had 12 points from his 5 rides. And I said Jacob Clouting, in a way, deserves this outing because he's put in a really battling performance. So in white, Ben Morley off gate 1 for the Eagles. Joe Thompson alongside him, the maximum man in red for the Centurions. Then it's Jacob Clouting in yellow for the Eagles, and Ben Trigger off gate number 4 in blue, and he's just going away and then coming back to the start line again. So how the Centurions would love to finish this with a 5-1. But I'm sure Ben Morley and Jacob Clouting will be doing their utmost to stop that happening, and I'm sure Ben Morley would love to lower the colours of Joe Thompson in his personal battle with him. Thompson's beaten him 3 times tonight so far. Can Morley get the better of him in this 4th attempt? Here we go, the final race of the season here at the Coliseum. Ben Trigger makes a great gate from the outside, sweeps around the outside of Ben Morley and joins Joe Thompson at the front. And at the moment, this is the perfect ending for the Centurions if they can hang on here. Joe Thompson coming under pressure from Ben Morley for that 2nd place. Morley attacks the inside. Thompson keeps his wheels in line and chasing Ben Trigger, who's enjoying himself out the front. This will be the perfect ending for the Centurions if they can hang on here. Ben Trigger way out front, and Joe Thompson, it's not going to be a full maximum unless Ben Trigger slows down, but it's going to be a paid maximum for Joe Thompson. And here comes Ben Trigger to take the checkered flag for the final time here at the Coliseum this season. Joe Thompson 2nd, Ben Morley 3rd, Jacob Clouting 4th. So a perfect finale for Centurions fans. The winner, Ben Trigger in blue, giving us a final score 51 points to 38. Joe Thompson taking the applause as well, completing a full house, or a paid full house. Tremendous from Joe Thompson. Great way to end his season here. And Ben Trigger entertaining the crowd with wheelies. And hats off to the Kent Eagles for a good battling display. But a little bit like up at Kent earlier in the season, nip and tuck first 9 heats. Here we get confirmation of that final race. The Centurions duo, Ben Trigger first, Joe Thompson second. The Eagles duo, Ben Morley and Jacob Clouting, bringing up third and fourth. 5-1 to the Centurions, giving us the score 51-38. Tonight, a victory to the Centurions, an aggregate victory of 92-87 to the Kent Eagles. As I said, similar to what happened up at Haywood earlier in the season, nip and tuck all the way through up until about heat 9 or 10, and then the home team just pulling away in the closing stages. And of course, the Centurions wrapping it up with two 5-1s in the last 2 races. And as I said, congratulations to Kent on picking up that aggregate bonus point, 92-87. Ben Trigger celebrating with some donuts on that first bend. And it's going to be bumps for Joe Thompson. Here's the score charts. Confirmation that Joe Thompson has got that paid maximum, 14+1. Solid backing from Ryan Ingram with 12. Ben Trigger with 11. Eli MEADOWS, a good return with 8+1. Charlie Southwick, 5+1. And Morgan Williams, 1. Across to the Eagles, a good tally from Ben Morley with 13. And not too much backing from the rest, or not solid backing. Vinnie FOORD with 7+2, Jacob Clouting 6+1, 5+1 for Kenzie COSSEY, who's been a good guest. Charlie Wood, again, probably deserved more than his 5 points. Luke Harris 2+1, giving us that final score 51 points to 38. So the victory parade about to get underway. And I said, Kent set themselves the initial target of getting the bonus point tonight. 37 points there, team management set them. They've got 38, so they certainly completed that job. The victory on the night just beyond them, but they've certainly played their part in some good racing here at the Coliseum this evening. Charlie Southwick, and just having words with the Plymouth promoter Mark Phillips. And I think that's Ryan Ingram alongside him. Morgan Williams on the end of the truck. Good to see he's okay after his fall on the second bend. Oh, there's Ryan Ingram. So he's just joined them on the tractor. Barry Bishop. Is he debating whether to get on or whether to get in the driver's seat? No, he's going to get on the... I want something clean to sit on. He doesn't want to get his light-coloured chinos dirty. Don't blame you, Barry. And here comes the 2 riders who just collected that 5-1, Joe Thompson and Ben Trigger, just jumping on as well. And it's going to be Mark Phillips fittingly driving them round in the on the lorry for the victory parade. Everyone okay? They're just checking everyone's safe and secure, and a lap of honour here for the Centurions, victorious on the night, 51 points to 38. As I said, it'll lift them off the bottom of the National Development Trophy table and keeps alive, I think, their hopes of still finishing as runners-up, but we've still got that Leicester-Kent meeting to come, which will determine the final positions in the National Development Trophy table. But this victory tonight certainly takes them above Birmingham Bulls, who've completed their fixtures. The Centurions now on 8 points for the season, and Maximus pedalling like crazy to keep up with the truck just going around the stadium. Just round. So, as the Centurions celebrate with the fans here at the Coliseum, it's bringing the curtain down on another fantastic season of Speedway here in Plymouth. Thank you to Andy Hague, the producer, Rob Haywood on the camera, Gareth, who presented earlier before venturing out onto the centre green, and the whole Gladiators TV team. Thank you from all of us for joining us for the whole season. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a fantastic winter, and we hope to do it all again next season. From all of us here, a very good night.